Why is this 1966 Topps National League Rookie Stars card, number 591, so bloody expensive? Well, it's complicated. In episode 14, we discussed high number cards and what makes them rare and quite often expensive. For most vintage years, Topps simply printed fewer cards later in the baseball season when there was less demand. Some years are worse than others, like the 1952 set, which had upwards of 1 million cards thrown away in addition to smaller print runs. There are other years, though, with a more peculiar scarcity caused by another term hobbyists bandy about: short print. Short prints are a byproduct of the printing process, and it's easy to conceptualize, though difficult to reconstruct, as we'll see. The standard size baseball card we all know and love, which measures 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, has been with us since 1957. At the time, Topps adopted a 264 card printing layout, divided top and bottom into two 132 card half sheets, organized into 12 rows of 11 cards each. The cards are printed on these large sheets and then sent to be cut down to individual cards. If you've ever wondered why so many sets curiously have 792 cards in them, well, that's 3 sheets of 264 cards. 264 times 3 is 792, the magic number. It is a maximally cost-effective way to make a set. Back in the day, though, there weren't 792 players. And even with all-star cards, sporting news cards, league leader cards, and other special card subsets, sets in the 50s and 60s struggled to get to even 600 total cards. But regardless of the total number of cards in the set, they were still printed on 264 card sheets. This meant that Topps had to fill in the rest of the sheet with duplicate cards. Take 1966, for example. The 66 set only has 598 cards in it. The final high number series, which already was printed in fewer quantity due to less demand, only had 75 cards in it. But the half sheet is 132 cards. The math ain't mathing. To make it easy to visualize, take all 75 cards and give them a spot on the sheet in order. Then start over. Another 57 cards get a second spot before the sheet is full, leaving out 18 cards. For every half sheet printed, those 18 cards would only be printed once, while every other card in the series is printed twice. Those 18 cards are short printed, short prints, often abbreviated SP in catalogs and price guides. It gets far more complicated, though. Topps tried to even out the short printing, and you can split the short printing on each of the two half sheets, purposefully swapping out the short printed cards, which can make the short print ratio 4:3 on a full sheet. That is to say, on a full sheet of cards, there will be 18 cards with only 3 copies when all the others get 4. Still with me? Of course, Topps didn't just print them in numerical order. They're all mixed up. There's lots of ways to reconcile the numbers and get them close, but ultimately some cards have fewer numbers out of the printer due to the way baseball cards are printed. There are always short prints. For the 66 high number series, the Beckett Guide says there are 43 short prints. How they arrived at that number is not known, but there are a few guesses. Figuring out the short prints can be a daunting task. A group of dedicated card sleuths have been working for years over on net54baseball.com, slowly piecing together what the 1966 Topps high number printing sheet looked like, since no record of it exists. After more than 5 years of teamwork, they're close, but aren't quite there yet. The work continues. If you want to help, check your own collection of 66 high numbers for miscut cards. The miscut cards give a clue to where it was in the printing sheet and are a big part of the reconstruction. If you've got a miscut, send it to those guys. One of the suspected short prints of the 1966 Topps high number series is the enigmatic number 591 National League Rookie Stars card of Dodgers shortstop Bart Shirley and Phillies pitcher Grant Jackson. It's near impossible to find this card for less than $100, and quite often it's north of $250 for low and mid-grade examples. Add a 0 for high grade. eBay's current average market value is $206. That's big money for a card featuring a has-been, and it never was. Bart Shirley only played 75 games over 4 seasons, where he batted a whopping .203 with no home runs and only 11 RBIs. Grant Jackson was better than Shirley for sure, but was hardly a superstar. Jackson pieced together a solid 18-year career as a relief pitcher, jumping between the bullpens of the Phillies, Orioles, Yankees, Pirates, Expos, and Royals. He was an all-star with the Phillies in 1969 and won a World Series with the Pirates in 1979. So Jackson was a decent enough player, but not a Hall of Famer by any stretch of the imagination. To put this card's price in perspective, the 1966 Topps Fergie Jenkins rookie, the rookie card of a Hall of Fame pitcher, goes for about $30. This card of a nobody and a journeyman bullpen arm, 7 times that price. And it's because card 591 was short printed out of the already tough 66 high number series. Further complicating the card's unique story is that its placement on the printing sheet was on the end, including one spot in the corner. The corner cards were much more susceptible to damage as they were heading to be cut. If they got a huge ding, they were discarded before being placed into the packs. How many discards didn't make it past quality control is anyone's guess, but it probably isn't 0. Card 591 is a high number, short printed, and a corner card. That's all 3 boxes on the tough-to-find and expensive-to-buy checklist. This card is not, it seems, a super short print, SSP for short, as often labeled by dealers. It was printed 3 times when others were printed 4, 25% less. Add to that however many of these corner cards, 1 of the 3 per sheet, that didn't make it past quality control due to the sheets getting banged up before cutting, and maybe there really are just a few fewer of this one card. The overall market for this card is fairly small. Dodgers team collectors and Phillies team collectors certainly want this card, and that's why it's in my collection. Set builders want it too, and many of the set builders who put together a 66 set will tell you that card 591 is one of the last, if not the last card, needed for completion. It can sting a bit to plop down triple-digit dollars for a beat-up card without a Hall of Famer on it, and yet, here we all are. The other high numbers from 66 include Tony Taylor, Larry Jackson, and Roger Craig. All can be had for less than $40. The Taylor and the Jackson often less than $20. The Roger Craig is a short print too, but it doesn't have the same cachet as the Jackson. And with that mug, how can you blame him? In recent years, many blog posts have called BS on the rarity of card 591, claiming that the lore surrounding the card is made up by dealers who benefit from it. The reconstruction of the printing sheet by the guys over at Net54 Baseball seems to support the position that maybe the card isn't that rare. But what fun is that? The stories that accompany baseball cards are a huge part of the enjoyment. Honus Wagner not wanting his image used to sell tobacco, the endless assault of rubber bands on the 1952 PAFCO, the endless conspiracy theories around the curious lack of gem mint Rickey Henderson rookies, the comedy of jokes and errors leading to the Billy Ripken face card. The lore is baked in, and I'm okay with that. I hope the magnificent tale of mystery and intrigue of the truly super rare, short print, hard to find, very tough 1966 Topps card 591 Grant Jackson and Bart Shirley rookie continues. And like a fisherman retelling the story of their big catch, I hope it gets a little bigger each time. Thanks for watching. Card 591 will definitely make you poor, but that's the fun of baseball card stories, legends, and lore.